What's up, everybody? Doing back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing a Kong Skull Island news and updates. Now, I know I haven't done one of these for a while. That's actually kind of the point of this one. This one's going to be kind of a catch-up news update. I'm not going to cover anything really current with Kong Skull Island. I'm thinking I'm going to do multiple Kong Skull Island news updates this week in order to catch up and cover all the news up to date. So, for this one, if you want current news, there's not really going to be much of it, but I think we're going to cover some cool stuff in here regardless, so I hope you guys stick around, and let's get into it. So starting out, this is kind of the main reason why I didn't get to do these news updates when I wanted to, leading up to Kong Skull Island's premiere, all the way up until now, is just because life kind of gets in the way. So I felt that this pretty funny picture, I thought I'd reuse that from a little bit ago on Instagram. Alright, now before the movie came out, there was actually a lot of little advertisements, little character advertisements. We covered quite a bit of these on the channel before the movie came out, so there's nothing really to talk about, especially now that the movie's actually out. It's not like there's going to be much to say about these. The only thing, none of these were actually in the movie, so I guess if you're going in looking for this action shot of John C. Reilly, you're not going to find it. Now there was a whole bunch of crazy advertisements for Kong Skull Island, including an elevator that had the poster plastered on it. This is one of my favorite posters for the movie. I really like seeing that, so that's pretty cool. When the cast they were flying out to do the premieres for the movies all over the world, so here's just a picture of all the cast for the movie, or at least the main cast of the movie, just kind of hanging out on a plane. Then there were a lot of Twitter Q&As and a lot of things like that. There were some Facebook Q&As with a lot of the cast leading up to Kong Skull Island coming out. Sam Jackson went on the Ellen Show. If you want to find it, I'm sure you can on YouTube. There was a ton of new posters released that we never got to cover on the channel, and I really want to talk about these because I love it. I love the very blue, very colorful color scheme. I think it looks great. I know a lot of these posters kind of come off as very toned down. I just think they're really artistic. I like them quite a bit. And Kong, obviously not that big in the movies. It's just for the posters. Now, here's some of my favorite posters. I'm not sure if these are official or not, but these are Chinese posters. The real question is, why does Jing Tian get her very own poster? You guys can see James Conrad has his. He's covered in the green smoke, the smoke that he actually runs through with the gas mask and katana, killing pterodactyls. They're not pterodactyls, but that's essentially what they are. There's a Brie Larson poster with a much more peaceful looking Kong in the background, and she is standing on that hill in the blue, and it's that nighttime scene from the movie. Sam Jackson standing with an angrier Kong behind him, because those two are the two that kind of butt heads in the movie. And then there's Jing Tian, who I guess is there because she's Chinese, and Wanda Group Wanda Group being the third producer company for this movie, wanted to appeal to the Chinese audiences, so they decided to give her her own poster. It's pretty weird. Now there's a Japanese poster for Kong Skull Island. This one looks amazing. So this is actually one of my favorite posters for the movie to date. It's just some art. You guys can see it's not like screenshots from the movie or whatever, but I think this just looks absolutely incredible. All the different monsters in the movies. You've got the Sec Vultures, you've got the Skull Crawlers, you've got the giant buffalo, the squid, and Kong, and there's all that crazy stuff. Really great. Another Japanese poster, it looks like. This one's actually an American poster, actually, so, oops. But there's a cool one. It's done that same Japanese poster art style, so I got the two confused. Here's another poster for the movie. Now, these past two haven't really been official or not. They're just kind of there. I'm assuming that there are. This one's from Matt Frank, of course, so it's not 100% official. But Matt Frank, he's the Godzilla artist for IDW. We'll do a topic on IDW in a upcoming Godzilla news update because there's some news regarding IDW's Godzilla comics that we can cover here. But he does official art for Godzilla, so I would consider this to be an unofficial official poster. I don't know about you guys. Here are some actual official posters. These ones look pretty sweet. Now there was a Kong Skull Island art show leading up to the movie coming out. It was called Tribute of Kong, the art show. I'm not quite sure what it was. There was just a lot of really cool pictures released. Lots of posters. Maybe this is where they revealed some of the concept art. I don't quite know. There was a competition going on around the time that this came out, where lots of fans got to submit their own fan-made posters online. The one on my right here is actually one of my very favorites of Kong standing in front of the nuclear bomb with the skull in the gorilla skull in the mushroom cloud. I think this one looks amazing. It's also a reference to one of the scenes in the movie, so really great. Here's some throwbacks to Kong 33 posters. These ones are also really good. Of course, the artists are credited here. Here's my favorite one because it's a Planet of the Apes reference. This one looks great. Then there was just this person who did the art here. Of course, this art is very, very good. This was the winner of the competition. They definitely deserved it, especially this picture of Kong and Brie Larson in the front, Kong in the background, and he's standing there looking over his shoulder. It looks absolutely incredible. Then there was this. I don't know what this is. It was a Kong Skull Island something. I have no idea what it was. But, you know, maybe it was an interview or like a live stream with some of the cast. I couldn't figure it out. Leading up to the movie coming out, there was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 posters that came out that were just like little advertisements for the movie. They were pretty sweet. Then you could get your tickets around this time. Like I said, I missed a lot of news, so I'm kind of trying to go in order here and catch up on everything I missed. John Goodman got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is really cool that Jeff Bridges was the one who kind of announced it and everything with him, because Jeff Bridges starred in the King Kong 76 movie. Now, John Goodman, of course, is starring in Kong Skull Island, which is still in theaters. Then, of course, the Kong Skull Island cast was there with him, and he was all happy because he got his star. Really cool. So, now let's get into the actual premiere news. I guess not really news, but everyone was kind of hopping on this, like, super hyped bandwagon, including Cinemassacre. They did a Kongathon. Of course, they were popular for doing Monster Madness every year. One of their most famous Monster Madnesses was their second Monster Madness, which was the Godzilla-thon. So you guys can go check that out. Of course, there will be links to a lot of this stuff down in the description below. Here's some pictures that were really, really cool. So another thing leading up to the premiere of Kong Skull Island was they dug giant, massive life-size King Kong footprints, or at least potentially life-size, depending on which movie you're going off of. They dug these massive footprints into the ground. They had them plastered all over the place. Just really, really cool. This one's one of my favorite ones to look at. It looks just really, really incredible. You see a Hollywood sign in the background here, so you know it's in LA. I think that's really cool. I like the effects here with the smoke machines. Here's someone standing next to it for comparison on how big it is. Then they had these giant King Kong footprints all over the place, including in parking lots and in park bench areas, food courts, I guess. This is actually a lot like what Toho did for the release of Shin Godzilla, when they had giant Godzilla footprints, giant Godzilla feet coming through buildings. We covered all that stuff in the Shin Godzilla news updates way back when, months and months ago. So if you want to go check those out, of course, you guys can go check that out. The playlist for Shin Godzilla news updates is on the channel. Now, there was this cool thing where they did pre-screenings for different cities leading up to the premiere of Kong Skull Island, and then they even had this competition where you could submit your own city, and then they would do a premiere in your city leading up to the movie. So these were all pre-screenings, meaning they were screening before the movie came out. This is similar to what I went to. I got invited to mine, but it was a very similar process to how a lot of people got to the pre-screenings. Now, there was these cardboard cutouts, of course, of Kong's hand, and it looks like they made some of helicopters, which is fun. Of course, this one side by side with that Kong VR, that Destination Skull Island that I did a reaction to, where you fall straight into Kong's mouth. Thomas Mann and a whole bunch of people spotted all these cool Kong advertisements all over New York as well as in Japan. Really, really cool. I love the one in Japan also because you got Godzilla, the building of that hotel with Godzilla on top of it, and then you got Kong right below it, and then you also got this really cool Kong bus in New York. And then, of course, Thomas Mann played Slifko in Kong Skull Island, so it's kind of funny to see him posed in front of two giant posters for the movie. Now let's get into the actual premiere, the LA premiere. So this was when they gathered up all the stars. They built up this big, huge set right in front of this big theater. Lots and lots of people came. All the celebrities were there. It was really cool. So this is one of my favorite pictures from the event. This is Vogue Roberts standing next to a couple directors. Number one, the guy who did Jurassic World. Number two is, of course, Gareth Edwards. Gareth Edwards being the guy who did Godzilla 2014. I don't know who the third one is, but Gareth Edwards did Godzilla 2014 as well as Rogue One and Monsters. Gareth Edwards, of course, started the Monsterverse, so it's really cool to see him there at the Kong Skull Island premiere. I wonder if he's thinking about getting back on board with the Monsterverse. I really hope he is after Kong Skull Island, after seeing how successful it is, and also after seeing that they recast, or they I don't know how to describe it, but they got new directors for Godzilla 2, so I'm sure he can't get anything involved in that movie, but I would love to see him come back for Godzilla vs. Kong, or at the very least, love to see him back for another MonsterVerse movie if we get any others other than Godzilla vs. Kong. I strongly believe we will. I don't think they're going to stop at that one. I think they're going to realize that this is a money-making industry, and they're going to keep going with it. So, we'll talk about that in a future news update, Kong Skull Island box office records, but it is the most successful King Kong movie to date, even adjusting for inflation. So, that picture reminded me a lot of these pictures of Vogue Roberts standing right next to one of the Shin Godzilla directors, which is really cool. Of course, here is a lot of pictures of at the premiere of all the celebrities going there. It looked like a really, really cool event. I really wish I could have gone, but of course I'm not special enough to have been able to. I also would have had school and everything, so there was no way I was going to be able to go. Looked like a lot of fun if you followed it. The Shin Godzilla red carpet also was a lot of fun, but they live streamed that, so you got to see that live when it happened regardless. Then there was some, they had some really cool premieres outside of LA. I don't know. It was really cool. They had giant Kong skulls. You had that picture in the background where Kong's sitting there, that painting that everyone would, that the natives kind of worship. Then they had these giant billboards and posters everywhere. Those Kong hands that you see at movie theaters. Brie Larson even took a picture inside of one. Just really cool leading up to the events of this movie coming out. Then Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston, I guess, got to watch the movie at home. So that's pretty cool. They got a Kong bucket. If you guys remember, these Kong buckets were on sale at movie theaters. My local movie theaters never actually sold them, so I never got a chance to get them. I also never got a chance to get the drink cups or anything like that, which is disappointing, but what are you going to do? I saw the movie 5 times in multiple different theaters, never got the opportunity to get one of these, so it's a bit disappointing, but I'm just glad I got to see the movie in the first place. They also I posted some pictures on Instagram of, there were some Kong cocktails at my movie theater where they sold some sort of margarita or something like that, but they called it King Kong's margarita or something. Here is a different version of that where they sold Kong shakes and then Kong-sized food. Honestly, that food looks freaking delicious. I'm really hungry right now as of recording this, so maybe it's just me being hungry, but, I think that thing in the front, that, whatever that is right there, oh, that looks delicious. I'm hungry. And then if you're wondering, this is what it looks like in Japan. So this is actually, I believe, from Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir. Me and him just recently did a Kong Skull Island discussion, so you guys can go check that out. Also, again, link down below. This is really cool because you got the Japanese poster here in a movie theater. You also got the Japanese ticket, but if you guys look at the top, it's a Toho cinema that he saw it at. So I think that's really cool because, of course, Toho is famous for releasing Godzilla movies. Now talking about Rotten Tomatoes here, this will also kind of segue into next news update. We're not going to get into that too much here, but Rotten Tomatoes reviewed the movie really high. It's actually got higher reviews on Rotten Tomatoes than Beauty and the Beast has, which is really good. Kong Skull Island is kind of making a lot of money in the Chinese box office, not necessarily 100% American box office. For a while it was. For about a week it was the #1 movie in America up until Beauty and the Beast released. So we actually have covered the box office records in a different video. We didn't cover recent ones, we just covered the first week box office in a previous video. If you want, you guys can check that out. Again, link down below. But guys, that's kind of going to be the topic of next news update, is everything that happened after Kong was released, including a pretty cool incident that happened, which set a Kong head on fire and freaked a whole bunch of people out. I believe no one was injured, which is why I feel fine saying it was cool. There's also a lot of stuff involving box office records that we got to cover, and then the Monarch website, as well as other things related to King Kong, which includes the newest comic coming out that is tied to the MonsterVerse. It is the prequel/sequel to Kong Skull Island, and we'll be doing a review of issue 1 of that coming up real soon. Last thing I want to talk about is the fact that my dad sent me these pictures. So he was on an airplane. Looks like Hemisphere Airlines, or Hemisphere, the airlines magazine, published a tiny little article about Kong Skull Island, and they basically just kind of compared the size of each Kong. Really cool. Not necessarily sure how 100% accurate these are, considering they kind of go against a previous Kong size chart we've talked about on the channel, so thanks to my dad for showing me that. Like I said, that's all the news we got for today, so thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It is previous news, and I just kind of wanted to blow through it all really quick so we could get into the newer stuff. I guess that's it for this video. See you guys next time. D-Man out.